Welcome to Championship Culture. We got a fantastic guest with us tonight. Chris Duane is the head football coach at Mountainside High School in Arizona. Chris has coached a few years in California, but most of his time has been in Arizona. He's a Navy veteran. He's been a head coach and a coordinator at previous stops, and pretty neat situation. Brand new high school. So they've been in process this year, but didn't play. Arizona played in the fall this year, but his school didn't play because it was the first year, and they're actually their first year starting up, actually playing sports will be this coming fall. So pretty good advantage there, Chris. You get a little time, even in this crazy 2020, you get a little time to build your culture. So man, we're excited to have you on here, buddy.
Well, I'm definitely excited to be on. Really, really cool thing. Watched a lot of the episodes and got a lot of things from a lot of the coaches you've talked to. So I'm just excited to be on here. Thank you, sir.
I tell you, it's like every episode you can pull at least one keeper out of it. It's been a really cool deal. I do it just to steal other people's ideas, but there's always, every episode there's at least one good keeper. All right, so let's jump into it. Question number one: can you give a 1-minute elevator introduction of yourself?
So I'd be Christopher Duane, obviously the head coach at Mountainside High School. I've had a lot of different stops from Arizona Power Pinnacle High School, North Canyon. Before that, a couple other small schools. California, I coached for a few years at Torrey Pines High School. Like Coach said, I spent 7 years in the Navy. Been married for close to 20 years now. I have a 5-year-old. Just love football, love life, and love to learn. So
I hate to say it, my true understanding of Arizona is I watch a YouTube channel that's like aviation, and man, they fly over Arizona, and it is just breathtakingly beautiful, the desert and the mountains. And it's just that alone makes me want to go and visit Arizona, just seeing those the views of that place from an airplane.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Obviously growing up in Southern California, there's the beach and there's a lot of stuff like that, but there's nothing that beats an Arizona sunset and watching the sun go down over the mountains. It's really, especially on a Friday night looking over the stands. There's nothing that beats it. So love it.
I bet that is exciting. I think I've actually seen, maybe it was when we did Mons, maybe he showed some film and you could see like mountains in the background behind the stadium. And you're right, it was breathtaking. All right, question number two. How do you define culture in your program?
Well, one of the real big things I feel about culture is essentially I believe it's defined in the dictionary by a way of life through different traditions and things like that. But for me, and one of the big things that we're going to institute at Mountainside High School is obviously that we're going to compete in everything that we do, and I feel that that's got to start at the top with the principal, the administration, and it's got to work its way down. There's a common phrase out there that good teams are coach led and great teams are player led, and I feel that when you have that that culture that starts at the top and works its way down into the head coach and the assistant coaches, I feel that culture is really easy. From the youngest freshman to the oldest senior, it becomes what one of your coaches in past podcasts had mentioned, that when the coaches say something, it means one thing. When the players say something, it means that much more. And I feel that comes from the culture of that program. There's a couple core values that Mountainside High School, uses in the development of our culture. And the first one is having a high moral behavior. I really feel that that there at times that kind of gets lost, having solid morals. Number two, academic excellence. There's a lot of stats out there that I think the biggest one is like 0.16% of all high school athletes make it to the professionals in whatever sport that they play. And I think at times football coaches, we get a little lost, lost in the sauce when it comes to the players, and we don't really spend as much time as we should with academics. The fact of the matter is, the higher GPA that you have, the better chance of getting into bigger and better colleges. And then the last over-encompassing core value that we have is competition. Competition in everything that you do, whether it becomes, warm-ups or in the classroom, doing community service, different things, competing in life, never being, what's the word I'm looking for? Never being content in what you have. And I think that's my definition of culture.
I know Rich Rod's been gone from Arizona for a while, but when he was there, he had the OKGs, our kind of guys, and we adopted that at the school we were at. And one of ours was, you got to be a competitive SOB. That the kind of guy that just competes. If we were shooting marbles, you're competing to be the best marble shooter that day. And that, to me, that's always, I guess Pete Carroll talks about that, always compete idea. And I'm all in on that one, buddy. All
yeah,
right,
well, on the Pete Carroll thing, I don't know if you can see the paintings and stuff behind me, but obviously coming from Southern California, I'm a huge SC fan, and Pete Carroll is definitely a great role model for anybody, but coaches especially. So,
definitely. Well, I read his book, and it impacted me just that how he can build that culture and build that competitiveness and still be, like a genuinely good guy. I probably got too much, like I wanted to be more like Saban and just be a tough, mean guy. And that really changed my mindset reading Pete's book and going that direction. I was actually noticing your big guitar, little guitar over there on the wall. So I knew you had a 5-year-old that was right there with you. All right.
There you go.
So number 3, and this is, every program has just a couple things they do that really makes them special. So question number 3, what are the 3 best things you do to build culture in your program?
The 3 biggest things that I do to build culture in my program, obviously one of the things that we at Mountainside High School are really trying to institute is the idea of family. And not so much blood, but community, having that sense of community, having that sense of family. So one of the things that we're going to institute is bringing in the blood at home. For example, like having events, something that I took from a coach a while ago, decals with dad, prior to the first game. Dads come into the locker room, help their kids put on the decals. Again, kind of brings in that father family figure. And then dinner with mom. Obviously, again, there's times where a lot of football players out there are mama's boys, as much as we may hate to admit it. But it's a way of bringing that family together. Servant leadership, I feel, is a really big thing. And when it comes to being a part of the community, being able to step out of your comfort zone at times, and whether it has to do with helping with Special Olympics or community service or something in the community, it's something that I feel is very important. There's so many of us look at life through a tunnel, and we stay in this this very small window of our own world. And I think this is an opportunity, playing high school football for a special community is an opportunity to see more of that little world. Obviously I got a lot of those ideas from my time in the military and seeing more than my bubble. But then communication is a big one for me. And not so much me as myself as the head coach communicating, but the communication with the kids. And again, that kind of goes to what I said earlier about how great programs are player led. And one of the things that I adopted from my time at Torrey Pines is they have a thing called the senior cabinet, where, every day after practice, the seniors come in, they talk to you, tell you what's going on. And most of it wasn't even about football. But definitely communication. So I think those three things, really involving the family and the community, and communication with the players, I think those are three really, really good ways to help build the culture that Mountainside High School plans to achieve.
Talk a little bit about dinner with mom. I've heard different ways people have done it. I'm just interested because that's one I kind of got on my radar that I want to do.
Right. Well, haven't done it yet, but kind of what the plan is. Essentially, I want to try and go to a community restaurant, something obviously kind of wide open, maybe like an old fashioned Italian place with the red and white tablecloths and something like that, and you have it catered. And then there are occasions where maybe a kid doesn't have a mom, but you bring in that mother figure. Sometimes it could be a teacher, sometimes it could be a school counselor, it could be any number of things. But you sit there, you eat some food, you have a good time, and at the end of it, they express, it gives them an opportunity to be vulnerable, and you allow them that opportunity to, mom, I love you because this, and I'm appreciative for all the sacrifices that you've made, to get me to where I am now. And it's just, again, it's a way to get our student athletes out of their comfort zones and really, become more a part of the family, more a part of the community.
Now I've heard of some places where the kids actually serve the meal to the mom. Heard some places where it's almost like a date night with mom. How are you envisioning it?
Um, well, I like both of those ideas. So let's just say it's a fluid situation right now. I
I'm the same.
probably, yeah, probably leaning, I guess, maybe a little bit more towards a date night with mom. But at the same time, I like that idea of having the kids serve the food because they've been served by mom for so long. So I think both of those ideas are solid.
Yeah, I'm like you. It's still in the brain stage. I just
Right.
know that's something I want to get done. But
Definitely.
if you did the date night, you could make a big deal out of opening the car door and opening the door to the
You
restaurant
could.
and pulling the chair. You could do all those little things, and you're you're rewarding mom, but you're training them how to treat a woman too. So
It's
there's
very
there's
true.
double benefits to it. But I'm like you; it's kind of still in the brain stage. But
Yep.
I just see that could be such a huge thing for your whole program. As far
Right.
as building family. All right, so you did great on that, man. And I know, I know that first year you're in the process, and then to get hit with this, the limitations, this kind of handcuffs a lot of the things you want to do when you're first starting up your program. I know for me, home visits is such a big deal for us. So you
Yeah, you
literally
can't
can't do
exactly
it.
do that. Right.
In our preseason meeting, we do a covered dish. Well, that's out this year. We're in the spring, so it's coming up.
Right.
But so a lot of the main things that I do to build culture, we can't do this year. So I'm looking for I'm looking for
Right. Little
an
pieces.
idea
Absolutely.
how to get that. All right. So question number 4. Uh, what do you know now that you wish you knew when you first got started?
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, Coach, I don't really think I know much right now. Every single day for me is a learning experience. In the grand scheme of things, I still consider myself young. I'm 36 years old. I feel like I kind of got started a little later than some, but I just take every day as an opportunity to learn. Um, I think maybe one of the things that I would have wish I knew back then was, um, at times, how much time and energy you have to put in for things to be successful. I obviously got married prior to entering the coaching game, so I think, um, that has been a little bit of an adjustment. But at the same time, it's probably better than a deployment. Um, so um,
I'm sure your wife thinks that too.
Yeah, they're yeah, definitely on that one. Um, so uh, yeah, I mean, I think kind of goes to that. I don't really think that I know much at all, and I'm not trying to be humble or anything like that. I think it's just a matter of I learn something new every day, and putting the staff together for the first football season here at Mountainside has been an eye opening experience. And I've taken from the coaches I've worked with at Pinnacle, and Coach Zupke at Pinnacle, and Coach Cicero he's now at St. Mary's, but Coach Ashby and Coach Gladnick in California. Just I've gotten a lot of information from them, and I consider myself to be extraordinarily lucky to have worked under great men and coaches like them, and I feel that all of the experiences I've gotten from them have allowed me and prepared me for something like this. So, um, I guess to answer your question, I don't think I know much. I'm just trying to learn every single day. So,
It's a good answer. And just so you know for sure, you're 36. You are still young, so don't
yeah.
worry. You got plenty of time. All right. Question number 5. I met you through Twitter. So can you give your Twitter handle?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the Twitter handle is at Coach Duane MHS. So it's CoachDuaneMHS for Mountainside High School.
Okay. And then anything to promote or just your final words?
Well, really, I just kind of want to promote the school right now. Obviously, we're still in the infancy stages. So the high school has a Twitter. It's at MHS Wolves FB, basically Mountainside High School Wolves football. Um, and We have a Facebook too. We've got an Instagram, pretty much all the same thing, MHS Wolves football. Right now, obviously, I'm handling all of them. So,
That was going to be my question: is do you have a young guy handling it for you?
no, no. Well, according to you, I'm still young. So,
Well, I
yes.
know I'm in the same boat. I'm old, and I just haven't found the right guy to take it and run with it and understand how important it is. So I kind of have to do my own right now. But I hope
Right.
one day I'm going to find a little computer genius quarterback
Absolutely.
coach that will do it for me.
Absolutely. Yeah. Figure out a way to pay that young man for sure. But yeah, no, just brand new high school and trying to get it off the ground and really build something special over on the west side of Phoenix. So the far west side of Phoenix, I should say.
So that, and I was going to ask you that I'm in North Carolina, so if you're on the west side of Phoenix, so we can kind of figure out where that. We can at least find a map that shows us where that is in Arizona.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
so a suburb community, a bedroom community of Phoenix. How's it? How close are you?
Well, so we are, as of right now, I guess the district is essentially a rural district, far outside of Phoenix. It's probably about 25 minutes from central Phoenix. But in the next 4 to 5 years, as more and more people move into Arizona, because Maricopa County is the fastest growing county in the nation. About 4 or 5 years, our rural community is going to be a bustling suburban community. So it's not quite a suburb yet. I guess it's kind of a suburb, but it's still considered a rural district for now.
And
So,
how many kids in the school?
well, 51. We have 51 kids. We're actually running it out of a renovated building right now. The comprehensive campus should be built for school year 2022. And at which point we'll probably have 1,500 kids. So we're going to go from really, really small to pretty good size in a couple years, which is going to be an interesting roller coaster for sure.
Now, Arizona in general right now, are you guys full face to face? Or are you AB? Or are you completely distance learning? How's it working in
Um,
Arizona?
So Arizona does it obviously district by district. The governor decided that he would allow the districts to determine that based on the metrics that he set forth. So I'm still teaching at Pinnacle High School, and we are full virtual for the foreseeable future. We just got an email today that January is going to start that way. So really, until the numbers go down, we are doing this.
Yeah. That's how we've been the same. We've been completely virtual, and we were gonna start up AB schedule after Christmas, but just got the email, so
Right.
we're still virtual for at least at the start.
Yeah. So today was the last day of the semester though. So have a nice couple week break and then back to the grind January 5th. So gotta love it. Adapt and overcome.
Yeah, well, it won't be long before we're back to normal, but
Hopefully not.
appreciate you coming on doing this, man. You did a great job, uh, and look forward to following you as you grow. Sounds like you're going to be exploding from a single A to I don't know how do they do it there. We go single A to 4A here.
Yeah. So six A over here is the largest division. 1A is the smallest, and actually we're going to be playing 8-man football year one, which will be interesting for me at least. And then because the 1A division is 8-man football, but the way the school is going to grow, we're probably going in 2 years we're probably going to make the jump from 2A to 4A, which will be quite a big jump. So we'll see. Roll with the punches.
I live in the outskirts of Raleigh, kind of
Okay.
like you. I'm in a small town about 30 minutes from Raleigh, and they've had little communities around there that did the same thing. Went from single A to the highest classification in just a couple of years. So there's nothing like explosive growth, buddy.
No.
You're in for a lot of fun. But man, I appreciate you doing this. You did a great job.
Thank you, sir. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.